Welcome to FarmCraft. Let's build a shop. This is a SketchUp model of what I'm building. It's a 2-story shop. The dimensions here 36 feet by 28 feet. Upstairs is my wood shop area, and this is the door to that. It's roughly at grade. The building's built on a slope so that if you come down the slope, you have a 3-car garage, which is also at grade. So I'm going to have windows here and here. There's also going to be a door here, some additional windows here, and then also up here. In a later video called Deadfall Building, I make equipment storage. I make an overhang roof here to store some additional equipment. Keep an eye on this cedar tree. That's there throughout the build and will keep you oriented. Just getting ready to break ground here. And I'm using the tractor to do the excavation. Then I bring in a bulldozer to level the site. Dug down about 6 feet there. Then I dug a trench to pour the footing. And I hired the block out to a masonry crew. That took them a day. I reinforced the tall wall by filling it with concrete. Now the slab has been poured and I've started construction of the walls. I didn't want to drive the tractor on the fresh concrete for fear of cracking it, so I had to come up with some creative methods to set the beams. That's a red oak beam, 12 feet long. It's 13 inches deep and 9.5 inches the other way. So what I did is I was able to take the tractor and get it close to this point. I built this ramp, temporary, put some structure in the middle of it as well, and then slid it down the ramp into position. I then put the floor joists on that section so that I was ready for the next beam. I slid the beam down the ramp again and then used a hoist to pick up the end so I could remove the ramp. And now I've got all the joists on. And the plywood decking down. Starting on the upper floor walls. And I got a little helper there. Setting the ridge board and building the roof structure is always challenging when you're working alone. I build a temporary platform and then using clamps and screws I work the ridge board into position. Setting the first rafters. And I've left the ones out in the center because a tower is going there. There, I've started to fill them in. Putting sheathing on the walls and purlins on the roof. And there's the tower. And here comes the roof. I put down a layer of foam insulation underneath the metal so that it doesn't sweat and rot the wood underneath. You might have noticed the chicken coop moved. That's because it's on skids and we move it around periodically. And here's our first siding. This is white oak siding straight off the sawmill. Siding this building was a tremendous amount of work, and between milling it all and putting it on was almost just as much work as building the building. Now it just needs a paint job. You might recognize that pond in the background if you've seen my other videos. Remember that cedar tree? Here's a look at the site before we started, and again at completion. Finally, how about a really quick run through?